Hello everyone. In the last video, we have learned about how to create our own layout. Means like instead of using the custom layout, how to create instead of using the default layout, how can we create our own custom layout and how can we use our own custom layout within the handlebars. Now, in this video, we are going to learn about how to use the partial. What is partial? Partial is like a portion of a layout. Like a portion of a layout means like it can be a header, a footer. It means like in a layout, we have a header, we have a footer, or we have a sidebar, or we have some divs that is common div that can be used everywhere within a project, and it should be present within the layout. But actually, we cannot write the entire code of the partials within the layout itself. So what we what we can do is we can create a partial of header, partial of footer, partial of sidebar similarly. So let's see how can we use the partial. So like you can recall that we have created a partial directory here. It means like we have added a partial directory key, uh, and that partial directory key was basically the path of the partial. It means path of the partial means that was view and partial. So it means like we have to create a directory for that particular partial. It means like we have to create a views and partial directory. So let's create the partial directory within the view. So we will create a new folder and we will name it as partial. So we have already created our new directory and we have named this particular directory as partial. Now we have different directories. It means like we have authentication directory, we have layout, we have partial. So in partial, what I want to include header. So let's include a new file and we name this new file as header.hbs. Okay, so we have our header part. It means like we have our header.hbs. Now I want to use this header.hbs in the uh, let's say we want to use it in main layout. Okay, main.hps. Then how can we use it? Okay, so suppose we have created our header and we will just name it as this is header. Okay, this is header and I will close it. It means like this is our header. This is header. This is our header. Okay, now I want to use this particular partial within the main layout. Okay, main.hps. So what we can do is we will go to main and we don't have to make any particular changes. Suppose here in place of main layout. Okay, this is our main layout. In the top of it I want to call header. Then how can we call it? Or in the bottom of it, let us suppose that main layout be the title of this particular layout and I want to call the header layout below the title, then main layout. Then just we will put two curly braces, we will put something like this, and we will say header. So we have our header here. Now, so we have added our partial. So what we will do, we will navigate to our project here. So we have our main layout, we have our register page. As soon as we will reload it, we will see that this is our header. So what is this is our header? This is our header is basically a partial. So if we want to use the footer, so we can use the footer as well. So we just have to uh, create a new file within a partial and in that we will name it as footer.hps. So we have our new file named footer.hps and we will say h1 this is footer page. Okay, so we'll close it. So we have this is footer page. Now we want to use this particular partial. So how can we use it? So again we'll navigate to main part, and below the body, suppose I want to use footer here. So we again will put the two curly braces and then file name footer. So and we can go to browser and we can reload this particular browser, and we can see that this is our footer page. Yeah. So this is how we can add our partial. It means like this is how we can add our header, footer within the main layout. So we have everything compressed within the main layout. So if we can do a control U, we can see that everything is each and every code that is present here is there of main layout. It means this layout is main layout, but this is a separate segment, this is a separate segment, this is a separate segment, right? So, but what is happening there that it is giving me a code cleanup. Like we can see that our code doesn't go like of 1,000 line or 2,000 line. Okay, so we can just use the separate file with 50 lines of codes, and we can include these all within the layouts and everywhere. It means like we can call it as it is giving just like a component. It is similar to a component. Like if we use React or Angular, they are providing us different type of components. So we can create different type of components like header, footer, and everything, and we can use those particular components within a parent component, right? So similarly, here our layout is something that is parent component. Okay, and we can use these all particular partials with or segments within the particular layout. Now you will say that we can use header here only, or we can use this particular header within the body as well. It means like within the segment page as well. So let us see. Suppose I remove this particular header from here. So now we will not get this is our header as heading. Now let us navigate to authentication and register page, and in register page let us call the partial header, right? So we have all the partial here, it means like header. So and then I will navigate to browser and I will reload it. So we can see that below main layout there is this is our header. So it means like we can use the partial in the particular segment page as well as in the layout page. So there is no restriction that you have to use it in the layout page. But if you have 10 pages and every pages have the similar header and similar footer, so you can use it everywhere. You can use it in the layout page only, right? So let's use it in the layout page. So that's it for this video. In the next video, I will create a form. It's like I will create a register form. I will show you how to post that form, and how to receive the data that we are posting in the backend. And later in the video, or maybe after two videos, we can use the database like MongoDB for saving the data that we are sending from the form. It means like we are using the register form, right? So we can use MongoDB to save those particular data, like we will use first name, last name, email address, password, and mobile number, and these all fields. So we'll save these all fields in the MongoDB. So that's all for this video. So let's meet in the next video where I will show you the register form. Thank you so much.